Hey book lovers, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Mar, and if you came from my reading Asian fantasy books for a week video, you may or may not realize that I'm wearing the same makeup and same hair. And I'm literally filming this video right after finishing that video. So don't judge. Hey, at least I changed my shirt and all that. But for today's video, I decided to do the 24-hour readathon. It is currently 10:20 at night right now, and I'm starting this challenge, and some of you might be thinking, whoa, shouldn't you go to sleep and all that, get a good night's rest, and then, continue this tomorrow when you wake up? No. For me, I decided to start it at night because I feel like it just makes more sense to do that, like just to read through the night and then get through the next day, almost like pulling an all-nighter. And also, I slept in until like 11:30 today, and I have drank a lot of caffeine, so I'm actually pretty awake and all that. And usually on weekends I don't go to sleep until like 3 a.m. anyway, so I'm just like, you know what, might as well stay up as long as I can and get some reading done. So that's what we're going to do, and I might be regretting this, but it's okay. I have done a 24-hour readathon, but I've never actually done the full 24 hours. I've always split it up into 12-12. The last one I did was the Shatter Me series video. I read the Shatter Me series in 24 hours, which honestly I was kind of surprised that I was able to do that. But yeah, so for this readathon, I'm trying to get through my physical TBR because I technically only have 4 books left of my physical TBR. Because we are not including A Little Life. I'm just not emotionally ready for that book to end this year, kind of thing. Like, that is a book I'm pushing to 2025. So yeah, I technically have 4 books on my physical TBR that I need to get through. And then I have books on like my digital TBR, I guess, that I could get through as well, but I'm probably not going to. But anyways, let's get through them. I don't really know which book I'm going to start with first because they're all so different from each other. So yeah, the first book that I have on my physical TBR is Lady Macbeth by Ava Reid. And I'm kind of afraid to read this at night because Ava Reid has a very like atmospheric writing style and all of that, and it's very descriptive. And I don't know if this book will put me to sleep if I'm reading it like in the dark and all that. So, but it is fairly short. I think it's only like 300 pages or so. So usually I can read 300-page books in about like, I would say 3 or 4 hours. So I feel like this is like a shorter book compared to the other ones I have, but I just don't know if this is what I want to start with first. The second book I have is Iron Widow by Jiren J. Zhao, and I meant to read this for my Asian fantasy book video, but I couldn't get to it in the week that I was reading it and preparing it, so I pushed it to this video. So I'm not sure if I'm tired of reading Asian fantasy books, so again, don't know if this is going to be a strong contender for my first book, but there we have it. The next book we have is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia for Fairies by Heather Fawcett, and this is a cozy fantasy, and because it's a cozy fantasy, I don't know, again, if it's going to put me to sleep. Unfortunately, a lot of these books on my physical TBR are ones that could possibly put me to sleep, so we are not starting this readathon very strong. And then finally, the last book we have is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. And this one I heard is a very fast-paced action book. It's just, there's some world building in it. And with fantasy books that have a lot of world building, it takes my brain a little bit of time to wrap around. So if I can find the audiobook for this, I might listen to the audiobook while I read it. So yeah, or if I find any of the audiobooks for these books, I'll probably do like a listening and reading for like the first couple chapters just to like set the mood and all that. But yeah, and then as like a palate cleanser, I'm probably going to be like listening to the audiobook and reading Magnolia Parks, because like that's just a book that like immediately like I can open it and I'm like invested. I'm reading it. I'm doing a reread of it right now, and I literally bought all the audiobooks on Audible. So I am planning on doing that as my sort of palate cleanser. So every time I'm like, I know I'm starting to get a bit sleepy or I need a break, I'm going to open that book up, read it, listen to the audiobook, and just have a fun time reading it. But yeah, those are the books on my TBR, on my physical TBR for this video. I'm trying to get through all of these. So even though like I say like they might put me to sleep, I'm trying to get through all of these books today in the 24 hours that I'm reading. So yeah, come along with me. Hopefully we get all of it done. And if I manage to get through all these books in the 24 hours, then we are going to find another book for me to read, probably a Christmas themed book. But yeah, that is what we are doing for this 24-hour readathon. Okay, so I have my little projector going right now, and I think the first book I'm going to read is Mistborn, just because I found the audiobook online for it. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to leave my little projector up here to sort of set the ambiance. I just put like a random like 4K video of like a random street that's snowing because it felt like the vibes. But yeah, let's start my timer right now. I'm just gonna set it on my watch. It is currently 10:40. It's currently 10:40 right now. Or actually, it's currently 10:40 right now. So let's start the timer. I just finished chapter 3 of Mistborn, and I decided to search up like how long the audiobook was going to be. And it turns out the audiobook is 24 hours if you listen to it on normal speed. And usually I listen to audiobooks on like two times speed. So if I listen to the audiobook, it would take me like a total of 12 hours to finish this book. And usually when I like start to read books, I say like I would be equivalent to like maybe like 3 times speed. So it would probably take me like 8 hours to finish this book. So like it's getting good, don't worry. Like I'm enjoying it and all that, but for a first book, I kind of like want to like, I don't want to take my time with this, but I feel like I don't want to bombard my brain with so much like fantasy information. So I think I'm going to take a break from Mistborn. It's like, it's getting good and I'm getting into it, you know, but it's like not something that I'm just like, I want this to be like my first book. I think I'm actually going to start reading Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia for Fairies. It's much shorter. I think this is only like 300 pages, and usually 300-page books I can get done in between like 3 or 4 hours and all that. But yeah, before I get started on this, I'm going to get something to drink because it's like so hot in my room because my projector's going and all that, but it's also like, I don't know, I'm just thirsty. So let's go downstairs and get a drink. Remember to drink your water. Okay guys, I've made it to 20% of the way through this book, and we finally met the love interest. Spoiler alert. But yeah, this is definitely a cozy fantasy in the sense that literally like not much is happening. I would say like it's not that like there's no plot. There definitely is a plot. It's just like these stakes are not high at all. Like it's pretty much about like this woman named Emily who goes to like this small island, like Scandinavian island or something, to research the types of fairies that live on this island, and she's trying to include this research into this like encyclopedia of fairies that she's collecting and all of that. And so she's trying to sort of like she's doing research about these fairies and also trying to like get to know people on like this little island and all that, and like these people like don't really necessarily like take like a liking to her because she's not the most likable character and all that. And so 20% of the way into this novel, her kind of academic rival shows up on this island and all of that. And so now he's on this island and now they are planning on doing this research together and all that. Like that's the main like plot of this book. So like obviously I'm going to read it. It's just like it is currently 1:25 in the morning, and so it's gotten to the point now where it's like I can feel my brain slowing down, because usually I'm a pretty fast reader. Like I would say like anyone who like knows me like knows I'm a really fast reader, and like that's why my friends always get me to read novels for them, because they're just like tell me what this is about and I can give them like a book review within like a day or two. This book, I'm like I can feel my brain slowing down. I had to change up the scenery a bit to where I was reading. I'm currently in my office right now. I have to be really quiet when I'm filming because my parents are literally asleep right now and I don't want to wake them up. Also, I'm wearing my makeup from like the previous day because I'm someone who like I literally cannot sleep when I'm wearing makeup. So I'm gonna keep this on for as long as I can, and then obviously like I'm going to like do a whole like my whole face and skincare routine when I feel like I'm like genuinely about to fall asleep. And so yeah, I'm gonna continue reading this. I just needed to take a little break for a bit, and I don't know, maybe I just need to like listen to some music to kind of like keep me awake. It's currently 3 a.m. and I'm finally gonna do my skincare, and we're gonna take a break from reading. I'm like 60%. Yeah, I'm 60% of the way through Emily Wilde's encyclopedia, whatever. And like I feel like if I was like in a mood to read it, I'd have a much like more enjoyable time doing so. But unfortunately, it's like it's not giving. I mean like it's giving, but it's also like not giving. Anyways, let's do my skincare. So I just finished reading. Holy nearly knocked my chin out. Okay, I just finished reading Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and I rated this a 3.25 stars, and it's mostly due to the fact that this is definitely a mood read for me, and I was not in the mood to read this. I think, like, it is the perfect cozy fantasy, I will say that. And if you're looking for a cozy fantasy, something to read on like a really slow day, I would read this on like a really slow like snow day and all that. But like if you're looking for like a fast-paced fantasy that has like a lot of high stakes and all that, this is not for you. Like, this book has the lowest of low stakes that I've ever read in a book. Like, even in the moments where it's supposed to be high stakes, it's not. Like I didn't move at all. I don't think like this is a bad book at all. I think it's really descriptive and it has a really whimsical tone to it. The female character isn't as likable as the male character. The male character, I think, is what kind of saves this book for me, at least. Like, anytime he showed up, he always made me laugh, where it's like with the female character, she could be a bit much at sometimes. So yeah, but it's like, if you want a book that has a really like whimsical tone and all of that, and you know, just doesn't have a lot of stakes or anything, and you really like reading about fairies, highly suggest this. I mean, for me, I think I realized that the only time I like reading about fairies is when there's a little bit of smut involved. But that's also me. It is currently 4:30 when I'm filming this review. So finally, after 5 hours-ish, I got started, I read Mistborn for an hour, so I read this in 4 hours. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia for Fairies. Like, I have to be in a very specific mood to read this. I would definitely reread this, during a time where I, like, feel like I'm in a mood to read this, but yeah, those are my thoughts on Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia for Fairies. And let's move on to the next book, which I don't know what it's going to be, but it might be Lady Macbeth. If you're doing one of these challenges, I mean, obviously don't pull an all-nighter like me. It's sort of just like, I had one free day to film this video this month, and so I'm going to take it. Usually I split it over 2 days, but unfortunately I could not do that. But if you are like thinking of, if you're getting sleepy while doing it, literally just play Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter and you'll be wide awake. Like, you don't even need a shot of espresso. It's currently 5:45 right now, and I just got about like 20% of the way through Lady Macbeth, and for some reason right now I'm like eating this up. It's just like, it's much quicker paced than I thought it would be. This is like a sort of a retelling the Shakespeare play Macbeth, but like from the point of view of Lady Macbeth, and like there are obviously like some changes with like names and all of that. I guess this one is, I wouldn't say it's like more historically accurate or anything like that. It's like sort of Ava Reed's own take on the play Macbeth and sort of just like making it her own. So like even though it's like not like a exact retelling, it's like interesting to read, at least for me. And I think it's mostly due to the fact that I just really like Ava Reed's writing, and that like every time I read one of her books, I'm just absorbed in the world. Also, like one thing about me is that I will always eat up a Shakespeare retelling. Reading Shakespeare, can't do it. Give me a retelling, I will eat it up. Like some of my favorite books are Shakespeare retellings, and I'm not mad about it. I'm literally not mad about it at all. Yeah, so I fell asleep for like 3 hours while I was listening to like the Mistborn audiobook, and then I fell asleep. But now I'm awake and we're gonna continue reading. And my hair is crazy, but whatever, it's fine. Hello. I finally got out of bed and all that, and I'm coming at you looking like an egg this morning because the hair situation was not giving. So it is currently 10:30 right now, and so I've been doing this challenge for about 12 hours, give or take. Took a little nap for 3-ish, 2.5 to 3-ish hours, accidentally. So anyways, that's fine. Sometimes when you need to sleep during these challenges, you gotta sleep, and that was me, and now I feel a bit more refreshed. We have 12 hours left, and I've only completed one book, which is not my best record. Usually I would have finished, if I were just doing this like as a normal blog, I probably would have finished 2 books at least. But the thing about all the books I left till like the end of like this year, so everything on my physical TBR, they're books that have the biggest words you could think of, like 5-syllable words that I'm too lazy to search up, so I have to like think about it in context and all of that. And like all of these books, I feel like if I read them like any other time through the year, I would feel so smart reading them. But now I'm reading them all at once, and it's like I read Emily Wilde's the fairy book, and then I decided to read like a couple chapters of Magnolia Park's A Long Way Home, and it was drastic. Like the tone, the writing, the style of everything was so drastic, it kind of took me aback. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so it kind of scared me a bit. I'm currently about a bit more than halfway through Lady Macbeth, and I can see why there's like mixed reviews of this book. Personally, I'm enjoying it, but at the same time, I'm also kind of like, what is the point of this book? Like, I feel like if you like Macbeth retellings and you're not really focused on the plot of Macbeth, you're more focused on the character of Lady Macbeth, I think you would really enjoy this book. But if you like Macbeth for the actual like play itself and all of that, like the themes and all that, I don't think you would. Holy sorry, my voice is like, I sound like I smoked like 10 packs like yesterday. But if you are actually like into the whole play of Macbeth and all of that, like, and you like Macbeth for the plot, I don't think you'd like this book. Like, this book is very much Ava Reed styled like writing, and Ava Reed style writing is very like, it's very descriptive. The writing is very descriptive, and it's almost like chilling and like haunting and all of that. So it's like, if you like that type of writing, then I think you would enjoy this book. But like, if you don't like Macbeth, you don't like atmospheric, pretty, like, chilling writing, then this book is probably not for you. And every single time I look at this cover, I think it's Anya Taylor-Joy. Is that her name? Anya Taylor-Joy, the actress. I always think it's her. Like, this is a scary resemblance of her. And so I'm just like, is she trying to say something? Is Ava Reid trying to tell us something with this cover? Okay, guys, coming at you with a review of Lady Macbeth. I just finished this, and I can't say much without there being spoilers, which, shocker, there are spoilers for this, because it's not an exact retelling of the play, which makes sense. It's a more of like a female, I guess, retelling of Lady Macbeth and sort of a different, I would say, characterization of what you see in the play. In the play, you can definitely tell Lady Macbeth is written by a man, and she's seen as this very ruthless, sort of heartless character who sort of fuels Macbeth's ambition, where it's like, in this one, it's a very different take on Lady Macbeth. It's definitely Lady Macbeth, but written by a woman. Like, you can totally tell this is written by a woman. And so, I mean, there are some moments, I would say the writing in this book is really strong, but the plot, there were some things in this book that took me aback, caught me off guard, and I had to simmer over it for 10 minutes or so to wrap my head around. If you've read this book, you would know exactly what point I had to stop and close the book for a second and think about it. But yeah, I mean, overall, I gave this a 3.5 stars. I think Ava Reid, I love her writing style and I love how she writes everything. It's just, when it came to characters and plot, I don't think it was as strong as, what she's written previously. Yeah, those are my thoughts on Lady Macbeth. I'm going to get started on Iron Widow now. I have a bit more than 10 hours left of reading, so made it through the second book, onto the third book, and yeah. So I made it to about 50% of Iron Widow. This book has gone by so much quicker than I thought it would take. Like, I think I only started reading this maybe an hour ago and I'm already like halfway through, and it's mostly due to the fact that this is YA and the writing is just really easy to get into and all that. But pretty much Iron Widow is like, imagine a futuristic China. It's pretty much about like this futuristic China where they're at war with this like alien species called the Hundans. And pretty much in order to fight this alien species, they have these machines called chrysalises, and pretty much each chrysalis is kind of like this like machine mecha jet thing. Like, imagine like any like flying machine from Star Wars. Like, that's how I imagine them, but like more Asian inspired, I guess. Or it's like, I guess like, no, it reminds me more of like Voltron. If you know what Voltron is, like that's what it gives. They have these things called chrysalises, and they're these machines that have room for two, like, I guess, like fighters or like jet fighters or whatever they're called, or pilots. They have like room for two pilots, one of them being male and one of them being female. So in this like futuristic China, like the people who who fly these jets, these pilots that fly these jets, are always like male. And so every single time they go into battle and all of that, they have an extra seat for a concubine pilot. And these concubine pilots are always like female girls, and pretty much while they're sitting like in their little like chrysalis fighting the Hundans and the aliens, the pilots are also like fighting each other. Like they're trying to fight each other, take over each other's minds, because whoever's mind or whatever, whoever wins this like mind fight thing gets to control the chrysalis. And so pretty much the main girl in this book is this village girl who signs up to be a concubine pilot, and she gets paired up with this like really famous pilot. However, like he is a pilot that like killed her sister, because I think she was also a concubine pilot. So then, but like she like lost the battle, so she like died. So like when you lose the mind battle, you also like die. So it's like a lot of like girls are being like sacrificed and all that, being concubine pilots and all that. And so like this main girl, she's trying to like get revenge on this pilot that like killed her sister and all that. So like that's like only the first maybe like 10% of the book. And then pretty much we just follow the journey of this like village girl. I don't know how much I can say without like spoiling it, but that's what this is about. It's like super futuristic and all that, but one thing about this book is that like think about feminism and like female rage and times it by like 100. Like that is this book. Like this book really has no room for subtlety or anything like that. It's very much like everything is told to you by the unhinged female main character who just wants revenge and doesn't care about really like the female beauty standards, I guess, when it comes to like Asian culture, like female culture and all that. Like it's very unhinged, but it like works so fast that I'm getting through it really quickly. So hopefully I can get this book done in like the next hour or so, because like that's how fast it's moving. Like it's really quick, it's really easy to get into, and then I'm pretty sure there's going to be a love triangle happening as well in this, so I'm interested to see where that goes, because like this female main character is like unhinged, because like she sees a man and she's straight up like, you deserve to die. Like like that's how she sees every single man. She walks into a room, she sees a man, you don't deserve to be here. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, that's my thoughts on this book right now. Also, I had to charge my watch, and my watch has a timer, so but I think I have like 8 or 9 hours left of reading still. So yeah, going to continue reading this book, and it's like it's insane. Like this book is so unhinged. It is currently 4:15 and I finally finished reading Iron Widow, and for the most part I think I enjoyed it. I haven't done my ratings for this book yet, but okay, the first like 2/3 had me hooked, and then the final third it went in a direction I just wasn't expecting. Like I thought it would be a bit more action based, and there is action for sure, but it was definitely a bit more political based, and just I am not in a political based mind space right now, so I don't know why I chose to read like almost all like fantasy books and all that for this video, but my brain is like literal mush right now. So by the time I got to like the last third, it was just like new characters were being introduced, and I didn't know which of the new characters I actually like needed to like pay attention to and all that. So it's just like everyone started blending in together. The revelations that happen in the book, I don't know, for me it just didn't really have impact on me. So, and I also think that this book could have been 100 pages shorter. Like, it being a YA book and all, I think the romance was done fairly well. I think the world building was done well enough in the sense that you kind of got the gist of it, but it's like obviously like it being YA as well. Like you can't go into like depth on like how everything works and all that, and I'm so used to reading like adult fantasy where it's like it's so descriptive that it's like you can literally like see it in your mind. This one I was kind of like I can't really picture these machines in my mind as well as like the aliens that they're fighting and all of that. And so I don't know, there were like moments in this book that I really enjoyed. There were other moments where I was like I think it could have been done better. I like the romance and all of that. I wish we did get a bit more romance. It's just yeah, the first 2/3 of this book hooked me, got me, and then towards the end I was kind of like I have no idea what's happening. I know she's like this is going to be a trilogy. I don't know if I'm going to be reading the second book. It's just like it didn't hook me enough that it's like I want to read the second book. So I don't know, maybe later on next year if I'm like feeling in the mood to read the book I'll try, but it's like yeah, personally to me it's like it had me in the first half, lost me in the second. So those are my thoughts on Iron Widow. I have read 3 books out of the 4 that I've wanted to, and I still have a bit less than 7 hours left, so I think I'm going to get started on reading Mistborn. I think I'm going to take a break just to brain rot a bit, because I feel like with these challenges, I feel like a lot of people read like easier books for these challenges, and I'm reading like the more books that I kind of have to like use my brain power for, and my brain is like literally turning into mush. So I'm gonna take a little break for a bit, and then I'm gonna pause my timer actually. Yeah, I'm gonna take a little break, and then I'm gonna start my timer. Hey friends, I'm back to give you a quick little update as to what I'm reading. So it turns out I actually had to go to my grandparents for dinner tonight. So I did a tiny bit of reading there, and I've made it to I think chapter 6 of Mistborn. Don't think I'm going to be completing this book, but I will be trying to get as much as I can done before the time goes up, which it's currently 8:45 right now, and I started at 10:45, so I have 2 hours to continue reading this book. So let's go do that. Let's continue. I think I'm gonna take my makeup off because I did put makeup on my face. It's currently 10:16 and I made it, and I made it to chapter 9 of Mistborn, and I am about to crash. I was literally listening to the audiobook while reading this, and I ended up closing my eyes and almost falling asleep multiple times. So I'm gonna go to bed now. And I will update you my thoughts in the morning, but in a way I have completed the 24 hours-ish, give or take a couple minutes or so, but yeah, I'm literally about to crash, so I'm gonna go to bed. Hello, so I'm back, and I'm just here to end this video and sort of recap or sort of let you know my thoughts on this 24-hour reading challenge. I would say it was a semi-successful reading challenge. Not the most successful, but I did read 3 out of the 4 books that were on my physical TBR, which is insane, and I literally only have 1 book left to complete on my TBR. So I would say that this whole challenge was semi-successful, but would I do another video of me reading for 24 hours straight? Absolutely not. No. Any 24-hour reading video I'm going to do is going to be split up into 2 days, just because having a lack of sleep while reading, genuinely, like, it's so bad for your body, and the amount of caffeine that I consumed throughout this whole challenge was insane. And also, like, I don't think I just had, like, the greatest reading experience. I mean, with all of the books that I chose to read for this video, I rated them anywhere from, like, a 3.25 to 3.75 star rating. And would those change if, like, I read these over a longer period of time? Probably not. But at the same time, when I was reading these books, by the time I got to, like, maybe the last third of each book, my brain was gone. Like, I was simply reading words on a page. I was not comprehending what was happening in these books. Like, obviously, like, with these books, I think I was engaged 2/3 of the way through these books, and then by the time I got to the last third, I don't know, something in my brain just clocked out. And so I don't know whether that's from just, like, reading too much or whatever like that, but yeah, it's like, would not suggest you do the 24 hours straight. I would definitely split it up over a weekend, or if you are available for, like, I don't know, any 2 like straight days where you are just reading from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I feel like that would be more ideal. But yeah, those are sort of my thoughts on the 24-hour reading challenge. But yeah, I completed all of the books that I wanted to read. The last book I have to read is Mistborn, and I was literally reading Mistborn until like 10, like 15 last night, and I just kept falling asleep with the book in my hand. So I was like, okay, I need to end this video here and now. So yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like 24-hour reading challenges, I don't know how much like actual vlog footage I got of me reading. I have to go in and edit, but thank you so much for watching this video. And I have no idea if this is going to be my last video of 2024. So thank you so much for watching my channel this year. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!